often, we personify organizations. We say that, yes, an organization is also like a family, and all of us humans come together to make that organization. So, how can
Mm.
energy healing really help organizations succeed?
Oh, wow. That's a big question. Well, first of all, I think you have to have people who are willing, it's the same whether it's in your personal family or your organizational family. We will
Mhm,
always have situations, people who trigger us, whatever
mhm.
whatever level that is. And I think the more, we actually look at ourselves, the
Yep.
more our energy actually infuses into the collective.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
it has to start with us, number one, first.
Okay.
There are many, many different energy exercises or techniques that I use and I share with clients that are very easy to sort of like, number one, bring us into a place of feeling safe and grounded and in balance. Because that, energy is just, it's addictive. It's like magnetic. So
Okay.
if you're looking at a big office or a big corporate building with a lot of people in, it has to, I would say, come from the top, but it
Mhm.
has to spread out in that magnetic way, because if you've got one person there that's oozing out good energy, and maybe that is the leadership or the leaders, wherever they are and whatever levels they are going to infuse that energy into the people around them as well. So
Okay.
it has to be a collective. But more than that, I think something that a lot of people don't really understand as well, and I think this is just so powerful, is that the chakras also have different personality types. And it's like any personality type experience that we can do, there's all sorts of different ones we can do. We have to understand who we are and sometimes why we don't get on with other people. And
Mhm.
the reason we don't get on with other people is because maybe they're just a completely different personality to us. But if we have an awareness of their personality type, whatever it is, we can be far more accepting of others. We don't
Mhm.
get triggered so easily. So whether it's in your personal family, whether it's in a corporate issue, whatever it is, if we can, number one, it has to come from us, because let's face it, if we are cheesed off about something or we're angry about something, what do? That energy just goes out. And again, that mirror, that reflection, that magnetism just goes out energetically into the office.
Mhm. Mhm.
And you don't necessarily know why you feel irritated or you feel upset or you feel angry, but you just do.
Yeah.
So there are obviously many things environmentally that you can do. We actually have, this is my other little spaceship, I call it. It's like my little Zen friend. This
Mhm.
is a mag Healy. So this works on the magnetic field.
Okay.
So where this is working on the auric field, okay, slightly different, this works in the atmosphere.
Yep.
So I use this for exactly what you're saying. If I feel I'm going in, let's face it, families, very triggering sometimes. If I feel I'm going into an environment, doesn't matter if there's one or two or 10 or 100 people there, that doesn't feel safe for me, or I know the energy's not going to feel very good for whatever reason,
Mhm.
I can actually take this and run it on a program. For say example, we have 80 odd programs here, but the atmosphere programs, which we've got 24 of, we've got programs like family harmony, we've got coherence, we've even got a chakra program. And this then sends out the magnetic waves like 3 meters. It's
Okay.
got a prosperity program. It's got so many different things. And there's also crystals. You can use also all different things to clear energy, oils, flower essences. And I really believe that we have to clear our environment. Whoever's there, I would always have a spray when I was seeing clients one to one. No matter how nice we've had a great session, I will clear the energy out of the room. And this is what happens, I think, with a lot of buildings or a lot of places and houses and homes.
Yep.
That collective negative energy sits and we get drawn into it. When you've gone into a room and it just doesn't feel right. And when you go into a room when it feels really magnetic and you just want to stay there because it feels comfortable. This is all going back to that resonance and us understanding on a very deep subconscious level. I feel safe here, because it comes down to, do you feel safe or do you not? Do you trust in this environment, or does it feel a bit icky?
That's so true. It's always, about the energy. And It's my personal belief that a lot of times, when we say that my gut feel is saying this, I guess
Yeah,
it's the energy at play that's guiding you. Coming on to another point, right now, it's an example of intuition coming in picture, but let's talk about something intent.
yeah,
So when
yes,
you talked about a lot of people we are not able to relate with, we are not able to align with. Does the negative energy that gets disseminated because of the negative intent somebody holds, is
yeah,
that the reason?
absolutely. I mean, look, this is where an intention, I'm so glad you brought this up because I didn't mention it. Intention is absolutely key. And that's what, whenever I work with a client, the first thing is, well, what do you want? What do you want that you haven't got now? What do you want
Mhm.
more of? What is missing? We have to have an intention because otherwise it's like getting into a taxi and just sitting in the car and the
Mhm.
taxi driver is saying to you, well, where do you want to go? It's like, well, I don't know. Well, where do you want to go? Well, I don't know. You take me somewhere. We have to have an intention of what we want.
Yep.
So as much, and you know this as well as I know this, as much as we can put positive intention out there, we can, my God, we can put negative intention out there all the time,
Yeah.
probably more than the positive in some ways. So
Yes.
this is so powerful. It is so incredibly powerful, our brain, that we probably use just a minuscule amount of it, of what we can actually do with it, because we don't understand the power. But
Yep.
on a subconscious level, if you are firing off, and we all do it because it's our part of our humanness.
Yes.
I don't like that person over there. I've never even spoken to them, but I don't like them.
Mhm.
Animals know that.
Yep.
We as humans know it. There's no specific reason, but we're resonating with the energy. So we can fire off those negative vibes and we can do all of that. But,
True.
for us to be this perfect sort of human, if we're not sitting on a top of a mountain, doing meditation for most of the day, it's back to that. It's back to awareness and acceptance. And if we can come back into this place of just coming back into compassion, coming back into alignment, and almost like taking a step away, looking and observing what's going on around us, we can respond in a different way. Even if we're not necessarily gelling with that person in alignment completely, we can still show kindness. And I think this is one of our biggest struggles in our humanness is to accept people's differences. I mean, my God, if we accepted differences, we would have no wars, would we?
Yep.
We would have no battles. We would have none of this rubbish that goes on around the world. It just is part of the humanness and it's part of ego and God knows what. But if we can just bring ourselves back from that 85% of the time being in negativity to
Mhm.
even 80%, drop it, come back into this, what a better world we would live in, what better relationships we would have,
Yeah.
what kind of people we would be around. Our environment is a reflection of the energy that we bring into it.
Yes.
So if we're bringing in negative energy, we need to clear that energy.
Yep.
We seriously need to clear that energy.
Again, it's the law of attraction at work most of the time.
Yes. Yeah.
And I myself, seen law of attraction at play for my own life. At specifically, I would say a lot of my graduation, was completed because of law of attraction. And
Yes.
uh, if I was not really able to practice it at that time, make it work for me, I'm not sure if I would have, gotten that degree that I hold it today.
Yes. Yes. I get you.
Yep, yep. And intent is a very big thing out there. I was going through a case study over the internet where there were two plants, separate pots that were kept, and we had two different plants being manured the same way, being watered the same time, and everything same for them. The only difference being one was being sending out positive thoughts, being appreciated, and the other plant was constantly being scolded or being demeaned, and within just a week or two the plant that was being demeaned, it started to just wilt out, and it was wearing off. But the other plant, it was blossoming, it had flowers blooming in it and everything.
You just reminded me of something else, and I'd love to promote this lady because she's just phenomenal, the work she's doing. So I'll tell you in a minute. But we've seen so many of these experiments, and when you think that that's a plant, and people would say, well, it's got no emotions, it's got no feelings, but it's energy.
Yep.
And it's exactly the same to us. So when you see unkindness with children or with anybody, I don't care who it is. I mean, humans, I really think, are quite wicked, evil people. They're not nice. We're not nice. We're
Mhm.
not nice to other people. And it's like, how can we bring that around? But it has to come back to being happy within ourselves, because we know when we
Yeah.
feel good within ourselves, that just exudes out to everyone else.
Yeah.
But what I'd love you to, I don't know if you've heard of Veda Austin. She's a lady in New Zealand who's been doing a lot of work with water for
Mhm.
many, many years.
Yeah.
And have you heard of her?
No, no, I've not heard of her.
No, right. Google her. She does a bit like what Masaru Emoto did, where he was
Okay.
taking samples of water, yeah, and he was checking them with negative vibrations. Didn't
Mhm.
matter whether the water was in a horrible place, a good place, a thriving waterfall. The energy in the water is completely different, and they would freeze it and get these crystals. Some of the crystals look like diamonds. They are so beautiful. Some of them are horrible because they're negative. And Veda Austin has been doing so much work on this, on how we can infuse water
Mhm.
with the energy, the thoughts, the patterns of whatever we want, and how it shows up in the water crystals. It's
Okay.
fascinating.
Yeah.
So
So
what you're saying about the plants is exactly the same. We're doing this to ourselves
yeah.
because we are water beings as well. So when we berate ourselves and tell ourselves that we're this and that, just like the map of consciousness, you go
Mhm.
into the shame, the blame, the guilt, the anger, the anxiety. What is that doing to us? We're destroying ourselves. We're destroying our energy. So how can we be anything else but sit in that negativity?
There are a lot of practices being told in Hindu mythology as well, or the way we are told to worship as well. There are often
Yeah.
times where we are told to keep a glass of water, alongside when we are worshiping or chanting some of the,
Oh,
scriptures.
yeah.
Here.
Oh, I
And
love chanting. Yes,
yes,
I'm a big chanter. Yes.
yep. And we are told to drink that water back after, we are done with the chanting. So
Yes.
so that water stores that positive energy
Yeah.
and you're adding more into your body as well. So, and again, as you rightly mentioned, that we are beings, I guess 70% of human body is made of water.
Yeah.
So it's the ripple effects, the vibrations that you're putting in your body, the thoughts that are bringing, and your
Yeah.
thoughts are your vibrations that you're putting out in the universe.
Yeah.
So you're giving those vibrations to your body, and it's going to each and every cell out there.
Absolutely. And you know what? I infuse my water. We've got water programs on here. So we've got 24, and I infuse my water every day with the frequencies. And
Mhm.
you can do this in a very simple way. Just write something on a piece of paper: love, happiness, joy, and stick it around the bottle or put the bottle on top of it. It's coming back to this thing of intention. What do you want?
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
and our mind is so significantly more powerful than we give it credit for. We
Yep.
can do anything because it's just once you raise, and this is the thing when you start using frequency healing, and we don't really understand this until you actually experience it. The more we in these higher vibrational states of being, the more we actually are in a higher state of consciousness. It just takes us into another level. And the thing, I think what I noticed when I first started using this after a while was things didn't trigger me like they would.
Mhm. Mhm.
I was like, oh, well, just let it go, sort of thing. Whereas
Yeah.
before I would get really upset or angry or whatever. I mean, I still do because that's just human ways of being. But your levels of frequency raise and you don't get triggered. So the people that used to irritate you don't irritate you as much. You
Yep.
feel more patient within life. You just look at things in a different way. And this is what we want to do. We don't want to keep on going down that vortex into such a deep dive because it's really hard to come back up. It's a real
Yep.
struggle to get yourself back up. We want to flow. We don't want to be flatlined because we'd be dead. We don't want to be doing that. But we do want to have this beautiful flow of energy. And
Mhm.
that comes with the frequencies. Like, well, where is the frequency today? How can I shift it? What else do I need to learn?
Yep.
Because we're here on this physical earth to learn what else we need to learn. How can I be a better human being, a better soul? I'm going through the experiences that we have to go through to get to that stage. But if we don't learn the lessons of these experiences, they do just come around in another pair of shoes. And it's like, back again. I'm going to see you because you haven't learned.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Thanks a lot, Fiona. Thanks a lot, for sharing this plethora of information with our listeners. And with the paucity of time, I would like to, wrap it up with one final experience. If you could share with our listeners an anecdote where energy healing has really helped an individual recover in your experience.
oh my goodness, I have so many. Oh, let me just think. I've had so many amazing experiences. I mean, just using this with when I've done chakra readings on people, and people have actually said to me afterwards, how do you know so much about me when you don't know me?
Mhm.
And they've literally, and what this does, it gives people the awareness of what they need to shift, because sometimes we know we're unhappy or we're feeling a bit, but we don't know the core issue. This will give you the core. It goes right down into the core. I've had other clients that I've used a lot of healing with who've had pain in the body. We can go physical pain. Physical pain, I always say, is like the massive message from the universe. It's saying, you are not listening to what's going on up here. I'm going to give you something to listen to, because we'll all
Mhm.
listen to pain in the body. By using the frequencies and understanding the message of the pain is just gone without specifically working on the pain. Now, with this one, we've recently got a meridian program, and it literally scans the meridians, which are your energy pathways. They're literally
Mhm.
like your tram lines, if you like. And it comes up with acupuncture points on the body as to where there's a block.
Okay.
And by running the meridian program, it's in such an intensive, incredible program. The pain's just gone.
Wow.
Headaches, just gone. Pain in hip, just gone. Pain in other parts of the body, just gone. Anxiety, gone.
Wow.
And because we're understanding what the underlying reason is, instead of layering it and layering it and layering it with more issues that are coming in, and it's like not dealing with that, put that one under the carpet, put that one in the cupboard, put that one in the cupboard, I don't want to deal with it. It will come round again. That's why I use frequency healing now, because number one, what it does is it accelerates and amplifies everything else that we do. So I may well do a tapping session with somebody, but when I'm working with this as well in alignment with it, the results are like that. They're so much quicker.
This brings me to one final follow-up question. And, I'm just getting a lot of questions and thoughts coming to my mind right now.
Yeah.
But something I would like to ask, for our listeners out here. There are two parts to this question. The first part is, how can our listeners reach out to you and enroll in your programs? That's first part. Second part is, we have people, and as you mentioned, in your response as well, that people just shut it down in, different compartments of their brain. They keep it logged in. So when we start healing with energy, a lot of these emotions come back to us. We, as a human being, ignorance is one of the recovery, mechanisms by us to feel good about ourselves. How do we really cater to that same feeling that starts to, come back to us while these healing sessions are happening? And how can we really navigate? Because we would restrict ourselves to move on that path that gives us pain, and we don't want to complete those sessions. We are like, no, I have to feel that emotion, I have to go through that same thing again. I'm not going to go do this, but for the benefit of our body, we have to, trot that again. So how do we really navigate this through?
Oh my goodness, this is a good question. So let me answer this question first, because we all have choice, yeah? We
Mm.
all have personal choice. Now, I was a pain in the ass when I first did my kinesiology training years ago, because I was one of those people that people say, well, I've got this going on, I've got that going. I know how to help you. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And I realize, and we know that sometimes the number one thing we need is to have that willingness to change. Are you willing to look at what the underlying cause is? Because if you're not, that's personal choice. Then I can't do anything with you, because that's your choice. It is your choice whether you want to have a look at it or not. And a lot of people, it serves them to be sick because they're getting attention from other people or whatever it is, whatever the reasoning is. It serves them to be sick or to have a certain thing, whatever level that might be. But the key thing here, when you've got something, if you are willing to explore what the underlying cause is, you will find it. And I can help you. But it has to come from you to have that willingness. If you're not willing, then that's absolutely fine. It may not be your right time now. It may be in 6 months' time. It may be in a year's time. Maybe you need to explore you might need to get to such a desperate point where it's like, I can't stand this anymore. I need to do something else.
Mhm.
That might be the case.
Yeah.
We're all different, but we all have choice. And it's like, what is your choice? Does that answer that question?
Yeah. Yeah. Surely.
And then how people can get hold of me. So I have a YouTube channel, which is Fiona Clark, the Zenergizer. I've got quite a lot of different videos on there. I've actually just started a new playlist because I normally do and I haven't been putting them on there, but I am uploading them now on the top tip
Okay.
Wednesdays I normally do. So top tips. And I'm giving you really simple top tips of different energy techniques, whether they're acupressure points, flower essences. I've got all sorts of different things. So people can go on there and have a look. Email me with Ficlark, FICLARK @me.com. I'm
Mhm.
obviously on LinkedIn, Facebook. I'm on Instagram, but I'm not very good. I have to honestly be honest, but I'm trying to, that's my next mission is to actually upload that. And
Mhm.
I actually, what I do is monthly journeys with the frequencies so people can experience. And we work on a specific topic, like we just started one this week, funny enough, about how can we connect with our inner Zen. And I
Wow.
send frequencies for 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes in the evening. And I do a couple of live sessions. So I do a monthly journey as a group. And these are amazing. I mean, amazing results. We've done one on meditation. We've done one on self-love. We've done one on abundance and prosperity. We've done loads of these. How can we accelerate what else we're going to get? Because that's what the frequencies do. They will bring up stuff. So
Mhm.
if it's emotional stuff that's needed to come up, it will
Yeah.
come up.
Yeah.
Okay. This is just because we want it to come out. We want to open those doors and let it go
Yeah.
because otherwise they just torment you in another way. So, if you're willing to do something different, then come and speak to me. And of course, I do the chakra readings for people, and I'm more than happy to offer, a special offer. I can discuss that with you for, say 5 or something of your guests, first 5 or whatever, and a
Right.
meridian program, which is phenomenal. So this is a fantastic way to get to the underlying cause and to clear out stuff in a really quick way. Sometimes, I always say to people, it will bring, I'm not saying it's all hunky-dory and everything's nice. If you need to bring up emotions, they will come up. But
Yeah.
that's good. We celebrate that. We celebrate those sad things or the emotional stuff because it's like, brilliant. We're getting rid of it. Doesn't have to come out again.
Yes. Yes. Totally.
All
Totally.
right. So, yeah.
So with this, I would really like to thank you for accepting our invite to be this on podcast. We are listening, and we would definitely be putting all your details in our description. So listeners, you can reach out to her from there. And as Fiona and I were discussing, action is really important, and for that we have got an initiative which is called We Are Listening, where you can vent out anonymously any issue that you have, any emotional stress, any fight, or anything that you have not been able to put out. You want to say it out, but you don't have anybody who is available to listen to you. We are available for you and we are listening. Thank you and have a nice day. And please feel free to put out any queries in a DM or comment below. Thank you.